and welcome to a new episode of Kiwi Life. Today we're focusing on the village again, and I did some cleaning up. So I chopped away some trees and took away the netherwart field. But it is time to finish more buildings because we still have a lot to go. I've gathered all the resources already, so these 7 sugar boxes are all filled with the materials we're going to need today. At least I hope I have everything. And let's start with finishing this side of the river with this big empty place. And over here I want to build a smithy, which will be one thing we definitely need in the village. And for the design, I want like a big, well, not really big, this a small building with two stories. So you have the ground floor, which will be a shop where the smith sells all his goods, and then on the top floor he will live. And then you can get to the top floor with a staircase on the side of the building. Now we'll have a little overhang where he has his smithy, or the place where he makes all the weapons and gear and stuff. So there's a big furnace there, but you'll see how it looks when I finish building it. And I think we'll start the episode with a time lapse. The building itself is now done, so we have this small building. It's not that big, but we have this bottom section, which is still empty, and it has 2 doors. So this is the other side. You have the smith theme place, so you have the big furnace, and yeah, that's basically it on this side. And then you have this small stair up to the second story. This is also quite empty at the moment, but that's the whole building, and I do like it. Then I have to plant some trees over here in between there, and just add some bushes over here. Maybe a tree over here. But that's the building. Now we need to add some more details because it's still really plain. We have to do a full interior. So inside here there will be some counters with some of the stuff he sells, like here there will be gear over here, some swords over here, and there'll be the checkout desk. And that's basically this inside. And over here we'll have an anvil, some other stuff like some iron, I think, and then a grindstone, a smithing table, and some coal sort over here, so to keep the fire going. And it's starting to look like a real smithy now. So we have some iron over here, coal over there, and the blocks, it works, so it can smelt the ores in here, then shape it over here, and when it's done, cool the stuff in here. And then when the things are finished, the smith can put it in the shop. So you have the tools over here on the wall, on the tool rack, and the armor, and the little counter. And that's basically all I did. There's some storage over here. I added some trapdoors, but that's all the decorations in here. And then we can start focusing on his living place. So we'll add a wall over here to split up the room a bit. Just have some difference in it's not one big open room, and so then there will be a kitchen over here. I have a dinner table over there, bedroom with some bookcases and stuff, and then just some like a long table or counter near the window. And that's the whole room, because nothing doesn't really fit more in it. So let's just put that in here. And there's the interior. So you can see we have the bedroom, double bed, with some nice stuff around it, some plants, bookshelf, with a nice green rug in the middle of the room. And I have a small dining table for 4 persons and a small kitchen. I like how this it fills the room a bit. And with that, the whole smithy is done. You don't have to just put some nature around it, but I will keep that for the end of the episode. So we'll do all the nature stuff at the end of the episode. And then we'll continue over here with the prison or the card, the village guard house, or what you want to call it. So let's have a big box again, as most buildings are, but this time we have a tower on the side, like a watchtower, so they can watch over the village. And this building must have a couple of cells to be a bit sturdier than the other buildings. And this is the build. I think I like this less than the other ones, just because it is lacking depth. So yeah, it's a flat wall, which could have been better. But if if you add details, it's gonna really improve if you add some things around it. So that's also why it still looks flat. But let's start with the bottom floor again. Let's finish decorating the jail cells and this small little floor. And then we have a prison interior. So we have this desk here with the prison records. I want to put in something more funny, or like an Easter egg. Just do this in a couple of seconds. They have 2 cells here. Both have a bed and a cauldron for your needs. So on the side there's 1, 2. And then you have the tower over here. And a little bit of a shelf. They can go up, and I've put some lanterns in the tower. And at the top there's also a lantern now. So it's all lit up. And on the outside there are now some barrels in storage over here. That's basically all I've done. And there's some beds and storage under the staircase. Now we need to focus on the sleeping and living quarters of the guards. So there'll be some beds, some table, that kind of stuff. So let me put that in. If you now go up, it will created by a row of beds and a big table in the middle. And there's some storage stuff on the side. We also added some bushes, which were not there at first, but it looked a bit empty. It's still a bit empty, but this is it for the interior. It's probably gonna add some life for me, add some armor stands in here. And that's the prison then all done. And then we only have 1 building left to do. That's the one over here. This one is a bit more difficult to build. You can see a bit of Mathematica over here. Yes, I use it. Otherwise, I have to copy all these things from screenshots, which I'm not doing. This is just way easier. I've built it once. I can just copy it. I still need to use it in materials. But this one is going to be a bit more difficult. If I'm a shape, because it's going to be an L shape with a small dock, or like, I don't know what you call it. Not really a dock, like a terrace coming out of it on the side. And this is gonna be just a fancy house for some rich guy. So we're gonna build that one over here. And that is the last building done. So it's again a little bit plain, but we are adding some plants in here and some stuff. And this side won't be that visible because there will be a thing here. That's also why this is just a straight line. But it's a bit of a different building. So we have this little porch over here where you can sit and look at the river. And then over here you have the door, and it's just a raised floor. So this is the first story, and you may be able to guess what's coming here. And then you have the second story. And it's maybe not that big, but I think it's a bit more luxurious than the others because of the shapes. Because it says like a L shape. And now it's time to decorate it because I said it's looking a bit plain. So add some plants over here, some storage crates on the side, and a little bench on the porch, and kitchen, table, and you may have guessed it, a fireplace. And we now have an interior. So when you come in, you have a counter with some stuff, like some tables, things people work on. Nice dinner table, a couch next to the campfire. It's a campfire technically. It's the fireplace and a small kitchen. And outside here now I have a bench and some storage over here. And we also have some plants outside the door. And this is now fully grown, so that looks a lot better. And on the side we also have some storage on the back. So that all looks a lot better. Now there's actually some stuff going on. And now it's time to do the interior of the top floor. It'll be just a simple bedroom, so 2 beds here, a bookshelf, another counter thing, or a table thing. I don't know what they exactly are. And we now have a bedroom. So if we go up here, nice bookshelf over here, a bench, and 2 beds in the back. I think that this looks quite cozy. And with that, we have 3 buildings done. So we now have this fancy building. You have the prison behind there. And the smithy over here. And if you look from above, that means the village is quite nicely growing. And we're getting somewhere. Now it's actually looks little bit like a village. And well, I think I'm gonna dwarf this place again with the next build, the next project for the village, because that will be all this space with pretty much 1 building. But I love how it's getting along, but it's problem is it's still not that integrated because this can't do. So I want a tree over here, and some more grass outside over here is needed. Then for the other buildings, for the prison, I don't think we can add another tree. Maybe another tree over here. I don't think so. No. Let's add some grass. Maybe a tree back here in the corner. Maybe we'll do that. And for the smithy, we'll just add some grass over here. Maybe a cart. We do add some trees over here to fill this space. And maybe a tree over here. Or is the bush? Well, I think a tree will look nice over here. And then we fill the space up nicely. And I've now added all the nature stuff and really decorated the place a bit, so now it looks much better. And if the friends are back. But I've added the tree over here. And maybe I'll do this. I don't know if it helps. Keep it for now. So I have this tree here now. Added some grass around here. I've not added much over here. On this was already here. I've added another tree over here. And some grass. Decided to add some dirt next to the storage, so it actually looks like stuff is being moved there. So it's a bit weird when it's just in the grass there, so there's no real action, like it's just sitting there and it is overgrown. It's just not completely what I wanted. And the same is goes for here, and over there too. But this is a bit empty still because I'm going to add stuff here still, so I want to keep it a bit clean and empty. But so now I have 2 trees next to the river. I've added this cart over here with some storage things in it, and they're unloading it or loading it, whatever you want to, if you want. But it's just parked over here next to the inn and the smith. And I've also just added some little bit of grass over here, and then I added a tree and a bush over here. It blocks out the view a bit over here and it fills the space. And here I've added some flowers just to see how it looks, and I quite like how we just have some flowers here, but it all matches. But on other places it looks a bit weird. It's just that this aspect of nature, it works. And if you go over, not a good way, you can see it from the other side. So you have this little bush over here, made the same style as that one over there. And then we have this tree and some grass added the bush next to this part because this was really plain. And I've added another bench over here so we can sleep. And I should add some more benches throughout, maybe, so then we can easily go to sleep. And I've added a tree over here. As I said, it looks nice. It just really helps focus you on the buildings you see now. So it's just this part. Oh, and you don't really have to put. It's just nicely. I just focus on these two buildings, and then when you go through here, it exposes this building and the side. So I think it makes it look nice. So you don't see the whole city at once. Or the whole village, a city. So that's mostly what I've added, and I've also had some buttons around, like little stones laying there. And maybe I will add a big stone somewhere later, like I've done over here. Maybe I'll remove this stone and add something else. I don't know. I think I want another path going up here. And this path down there also coming up here. Then going up the side. I can start building something up here. And we'll continue over on the other side of the river. But that is all for another episode, because I'm not going to build more in today's episode. But if you take an aerial view, and the frog got suit like this, it looks really nice. So now it actually looks a bit like a village. It's not just a couple of random buildings, but now it's like everything is filled in, which is really nice. And they're all just slightly different, which is amazing. And then we'll dwarf this place later. That's the buildings and the outside done. For the last part of the episode, we're going to give this place some life. So I've gathered a whole lot of armor, a lot of heads, and all the dice. So we're going to build some armor stands around here. And now that I've placed all the armor stands, the place feels a lot more lively as there are armor stands around. So let's start with the last building we did. So we now have a man sitting outside and another one cutting up a salmon. I changed the pressure plate because pressure plate would hide the fish if the item frame was invisible, and if the item frame wasn't, is like this, it's a sea fighting with the pressure plate, so it doesn't look great. And I've only added these two and kept upstairs empty because there are only 2 beds, so having 3 people here would be a bit weird. So with these 2 over here, then if you cross the bridge we can see a wood cutter, or someone is cutting the wood. So I've done this by putting the blocks to the head of the armor stand, because then they become this big. I have to just align them like this. And this is cutting some planks, which really gives this place some life. And over here we have a customer looking at the flowers, and a cashier, or someone at the register who's working here, just counting the money. There's nobody inside. Then for the inn, we have some people here. So first we have the man behind the bar, the barman, the boss of the inn. He's cleaning the mug, and then there's a regular guest chatting with him. And then we have 2 people having a drink and some food over here at the table, and of course the shady man at the back table looking over the whole inn. This is where you do your shady deals. And that's all for the inn. For the smithy, I've now put someone over here making a sword. Smiths, there's not really a hammer, so we're using an axe. It's just making the sword. And then inside we have another person behind the register, and another customer looking at the weapons. And over here did nothing. And from this side I just added the farmer with his hoe, tilling the dirt or gathering the wheat. And lastly, the prison, or the guard's house. We have a cleric behind the desk making the record, doing the records. I've given them all a bluish or blue chest plate. So that's town colors, like it's the uniform. Then we have 2 guards over here with a candy uniform and some armor. And these are chatting. And these are wolves because I'm a wolf myself. And they're like the sheepdog, shepherding all the villagers. And then in here we have a sad guy in the prison. And we have a guy escaping. So if you look at the other side, we can see that he's crawling out with a shovel. He's broken the iron bars, and now he's crawling out, bringing himself. And that are all the armor stands in. I just think it gives the place so much more life. And there's actually people here. And with the day in this world coming to an end, this episode is also coming to an end, as this is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Share your feedback if you did, like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.